They was all shooting. I pulled up in my truck. You got anything to shoot? No, I got it. Yeah, you got something. We got it.
Meeting to order. Petitions from the audience.
Well, you had one.
There are none. Okay, discuss and possibly approve the minutes of the August 26, 2025 meeting. Have you all had a chance to look at those?
Yeah.
Entertain a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion made by Brashears and seconded by Smith.
Maybe sure he signed in on that.
All those in favor? Call for the vote.
Lamar,
Yes?
Smith,
Yes.
Rushiers.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Street Superintendent report, Buddy Glenn.
We dipped couple of ditches over off on the southeast end of Nolan Park. We had some that had some silt built up. We dipped them a few years back, but I mean, it was time to get back on and get it. Again, we're still mowing. We just got done, I mean, with our right of ways and down in our drainages. So we just got that done. We got 4 wheelchair ramps across the street over here. We got them put in. Getting ready for our Oktoberfest or whatever we call that. So if anybody need to get in and out, we've got another one over on Southeast 9th. We was going to start it today, but we've had rain. As soon as rain calms down, we're going to get over and start on that. And we've got probably about 200 feet of sidewalk on that other side that we're going to run from the rec center all the way down to the school parking lot, and they're going to put us a wheelchair ramp over on their side, so there won't be any discussion about who paid for it or whatever. Had a fallen tree this morning over on Southwest 3rd and Taylor. We went over and pushed it out and finally went down, picked it up, cut it up and got it out. We put a no left turn sign on at Graham and Hogan. I guess they was having people on, if they was new people or whatever, but they was turning left off of Graham onto Hogan Street on the one-way. And so I didn't realize what the sign up there, it was kind of wore out. So we had a new no left turns. We put that up on there. Hopefully that solves the problem, because actually down through there, you've got a no right turn. You turn one way, do not enter, and then we had 2 other signs on down that says that. So I mean, it's not like it's not set up where they can't see it. So we made up another 5 blocks for the downtown events that's coming up. So that gives us a total of 22. So that should be able to have us where we can block everything off down there as we need to. Put in a couple pipe over off on Pine Street. Owner, one of them was ours, and the other was the owner. He bought one pipe, and we purchased the other one, put it in. I've been trying to spray and clean up sidewalks, trying to get all that done. Other than that, like today, we worked down there off of South Van where the new Votech building is. They've had I don't know, kind of a mishap. They poured that entry down through there, and the problem was that when the contractors that come in and done that, they cut the street off. There was about a 6-inch lip down through there where they did not attach it back to the street. Well, you can't do that. Any contractor that comes in, they have to attach it back to the street. So the way they done it, I know what they was doing. They was trying to make sure that they had plenty of fall on their part of the entryway so that water wouldn't stand. So they're going to go back. We've been working with them for that last week getting everything. So they're going to go back, no charge for us. They're going to saw it out and report back and put the flow line back in there. And we went there on the south side of their entries, and we milled it down about 2 inches today. And so when they get that back, then we're going to make sure that the water flows off of that entryway that they poured. But we won't know that until they get the concrete. But we give them a quitting point, a starting and a quitting point from point A to point B. And if they pour the concrete back to where what we left off today, then the water should flow on down. We may have to go down a little bit further to go back to Southeast First Street to get the water to go down. But other than that, they're happy. Like I said, we're working together. So, and of course, I know y'all seen we got our new FCC license in today. So I made a copy and posted down the shop. I was going to bring this up to the mayor, and so he can. I don't think they had to post anything up here if they got something they want to keep it in, but. Other than that, we got lots of things that we got to do now. We're waiting for the rain to quit, but we're trying to get that stuff on 9th Street done for the football games out there, so everybody go from point A to point B safely crossing. So, other than that, that's everything.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, buddy. Okay, now item number 5. Discuss and possibly recommend council action regarding 2-hour parking in the downtown corridor. Do we have a motion to discuss it?
Motion.
Motion made by Shears and
I'll second.
seconded by Smith. Okay, so what this is, you had in your I don't know if, were they on the email or the picture too, or just me? Did y'all get
I sent that to you, I'm sorry.
Okay. There is a business person downtown that has brought it to our attention that there are still a couple of old signs from probably back in the 70s or 80s in front of a business on North Adair Street that says there's 2-hour parking only in those spots. Back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there were 2-hour parking signs all over town. And the police department enforced that with an old-fashioned tire marker. Bruce, you're familiar with that? Do you know what that is? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that kind of went away over the years. The tire marker got phased out of the police department, etc. So this business person on South Adair Street saw those signs, and he sent a picture to City Hall and requested that those signs like that be put up in 2 spots in front of his business on South Adair Street. Well, per the city ordinance book, and I gave you all a copy of this here, on the second page of it, it is a violation it does mention the 2-hour parking in the downtown corridor. And it is illegal to park within the parameters of certain streets. And Adair Street from Northeast First to Southeast First is within that parameter. So it's already illegal per city code to park more than 2 hours on any of those streets down through there. So it already is on the books. Those old signs up on North Adair Street are the only ones left from the era. All the rest of them around town have been taken down over the years. And so anyway, he saw those and wanted them in front of his store, 2 of them. My own personal opinion is that it's going to set a bad precedence if we start putting 2-hour signs in front of specific parking lot or in front of specific businesses or in front of specific parking spaces along those corridors. For one thing, it's going to be expensive, and if we start it for one person, it's going to continue and snowball. So in my opinion, it's not something that we should start a precedent on.
We need to do one of two things, is my idea.
If somebody does feel that there is a car that has been parked for more than 2 hours along there and it's causing problems, then they need to call the police department and talk to them about it as far as the city code goes. But I don't think it's a good idea to put signs up in every parking space in town.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're gonna enforce this or broadcast it consistently, you would do it to where no matter what parking spot you came up to, you would be within so many feet to view a sign, so that way nobody can say, well, I didn't see the sign. And, I mean, because you're talking about breaking up concrete and pouring I assume just buying the signs and the poles and then pouring it into the concrete.
It's either that or metal base put on it, we just drill and pin, but yeah, I mean, they do make signs that talks about, no parking, or, we can make some, put it on each block down through there, it says, 2-hour parking, and put arrows all the way down it, but again, I've never been down there and just seen them forced, if it's the same car, but I know, especially there on that west side, all the business, the haircutting place, where, the Crafty Tiger, the drink place right there, I can't think of that spot. Yeah, the spot, people always going in and out, so they're parking where they can to come down, back and forth. It seems like they're always full, same way like across the street. I mean, there are people park over there, then walk across. I mean, it's just north and south Adair is just really busy all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anybody there really parks over 2 hours at a time, but it's just.
Well, and
Yes, they live there.
yeah, well, and practically, so a business owner thinks that this car has been parked there for over 2 hours. They call the police up and say, hey, this car's been parked over here for 2 hours. They come down and they say, what? Well, can you prove that they've been parked there for over 2 hours? Because, unless they have video camera that they can reference or some kind of, photographic evidence that this, has been there for 2 hours, then there's really nothing they can do anyway.
Well,
I mean, that's my assumption. They have to be able to prove that you were there. So unless they have the ability to prove it, I mean, it's already on the
But
books
we're
anyway.
here, we're not discussing whether or not really it's legal or illegal for the 2 hours. It's the fact that they want to put signs all over.
Well, that's what that comes into is you put the signs up. Let's just say you put the signs up. How does that change anything?
Well, it may keep people from wanting to go downtown and shop. That could be one problem. I mean, I don't know, we got a parking problem downtown. You go there and park where you want to. Number two, if we've got this law, we need to get rid of it or go by it, one or two. I don't know, but I'm afraid putting up these signs is gonna keep people from wanting to go downtown, so I just got 2 hours and I need to go here and there.
I get the sentiment. If I'm a business owner and there are spaces in front of my business that are constantly full, maybe for much longer than they should be, and then somebody, instead of stopping in quick, has to go all the way down here, and maybe that keeps them from, I don't know. I get the sentiment, but I'm just curious how it changes.
Well, the only thing that I thought of, hadn't really talked to it, I just mentioned it to Terry a little bit ago, but see, there is a fire hydrant right there on South 8th here. And I guess legally by law, I mean, if you wanted to, you can mark out that spot to keep people from parking there, so if the fire department had to pull up, there was no vehicle there.
Right.
So, because when I went down and talked to them, they were just talking about when somebody buys something, if it has to be carried out or whatever, there's no place for them to do that. Well, I mean, I don't know, I guess it wasn't gonna be a permanent parking or something, you know, you could pull in through there and then load up and back out and leave, or
Yeah.
something like that, but I mean,
Well, if we're gonna enforce that law, we might, go piece by piece. If somebody's got a problem, they call the police and say they've been here, and let them contact them and do their thing without putting signs all up and down the street. I don't know, Mayor, have you ever heard any problems?
So Terry and I talked a little bit about this earlier. I think when we look, the best we can recall is that law's from 1988. It's a
Yeah.
little outdated. We have had some calls come in, and I've heard some comments. You know, we have some businesses that want dedicated spots for loading and unloading, and we want dedicated spots for this, we want dedicated spots for that. 1,300 free parking places are in our downtown corridor. We counted them one by one last Bluegrass Festival. 1,300 parking spaces that nobody has to pay for, and that we've reserved the right to put handicap where we need to put handicap. The problem we're running into, and this is where I think some of these concerns from citizens or retailers are coming from, is as we work to fill those buildings that have been empty, the standard of vacant buildings is going away, and now there's more people. Now we have over in Littlefield, we have people living there. Those cars are rightfully to be there. Terry and I talked about possibly the idea of, if you live there, you have a special permit to park there as long as you want, because that's where you live. We can't, and I agree, we can't start setting a precedence that we're gonna start blocking this for this business and that for that business and this. The other side is the enforceability of it. And again, we're not hiring another officer just to write tickets for parking. We don't have meter maids. We just have to realize that sometimes I gotta walk an extra block, or I might have to walk 5 spaces further than I want to, but you know, we'd love to be able to accommodate, but I don't think putting reserved parking is an option unless the city wants to start making a revenue maker out of it and make those businesses pay us hefty for those parks.
My feeling is just go as a as-need basis. I don't think we've got that big a problem of it. If there's a problem, we've got a law to cover it, and they make contact and say, now, the people that live in these apartments, in their room and back, they can park, it has park in front.
Not a whole lot of room in back.
I haven't been back in a long time.
There's not a lot, plus we've got that alleyway, Western Auto still uses that, and some of the
Yeah.
other businesses for trucks. I just talked today to a business owner there on the second block near the movie theater, and their concern was, even in the alleys where the delivery trucks are blocking their parking. They're parking behind because that's where the employees are intended to park. We redid those alleys, Terry, you'll confirm, we redid those alleys to make that more accessible for those business owners to park and use that space to free up more on the street. So I think we just need to realize that there's room for everybody.
Is there any particular gripe about the ones parking in apartments? And it's parking in front?
Nobody in particular. I mean, just the standard, they're taking up spaces that were free before.
My guess would be just leave it as we have it, and if there's a complaint, they call and address that particular complaint, save the signs and everything else.
Well, I agree. I think one thing that we may need to look at, and you guys may want to push to O&I, is the removal of that ordinance. If we start enforcing that downtown, we just have to start enforcing that on residential streets and other places. So think about Veda, think about Oklahoma, think about 17th, think about Ridgewood, all of those streets, people park in the street. So we're gonna have to, we can't do for one and not for the other.
Well, I'll
So
say, well, isn't it technically illegal to park in any street?
It-
Throughout the neighborhood?
The code says that you cannot park for a period of no more than 24 hours. So there are vehicles around town that are, I'm gonna
stationary.
call them abandoned, stationary,
Yeah.
inoperable, et cetera, that people just park there. And technically, they're in violation of the city code, but the code on the first page of this thing, down at the bottom for time-limited parking, it does say that no person shall park a vehicle on the street for a longer period of 24 hours.
Yeah.
The parking of a vehicle for more than 48 constitutes evidence of abandonment of the vehicle.
Right.
And there are a lot of those around. So
But we don't live in a day where there's only one car per household anymore.
So I say
So
the
it's-
ordinance is outdated. I think back to the topic is, I don't think we need to, I think it's a no action item for.
Well, do we know, just out of curiosity, do we know what Claremore does with their Will Rogers right there, since that's kind of their their most equivalent business road with South Ada right there? I know they have.
First come, first serve.
I know, yeah, I would say, because I know I would say they don't have anything that they do, and they have an alleyway that goes back behind all of those, just like ours does. I was just curious.
Another problem with these residential streets, I don't know what you do. Right now, most of them, you couldn't get a fire truck down.
No.
Could get an ambulance down, and I don't know what we do about that.
Um,
Your guy has a house. that's
Fire
5
truck is
feet.
bigger than the car, right? Isn't that what the BK would tell you? I think what we're gonna do is if we go down this, we're gonna open not just for ourselves, but for the citizens Pandora's box. I think, we look at it, sometimes those laws are there if we need them. Sometimes those laws are there to help maintain some order when the order is lost. The big thing right now is the question is, do we want to put signs that limit parking downtown? And I'm with Bruce. I think you start doing that, you're going to see a lot less people coming downtown. Because a lot of these people that do choose to get out and shop in an evening or on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever time frame, they're not going and back to their car in 10 minutes. A lot of them want to walk. They want to walk to Salmonella's. They want to walk here. They want to walk there. As we get these new shops and stores down closer to this end of town, they're going to want to walk from point A to point B, and they don't want to move their car every time they do that. I think we leave it alone.
I'm thinking, right now, my personal feeling is leave the laws like we have them, and if we have a problem, then we can go back and use them if we need to, and not be
Bruce,
changing much stuff.
you and I agree on another.
That's twice. She's going to the store
Make sure
tonight,
the
you
video
know that,
recording
don't you?
is actually
Don't let anybody see it.
All right.
Checking the mic.
Yeah, well, and I guess
Whoa.
we can encourage those business owners that if you are having an issue, be sure to have a way to document it and report it. That's gonna be the only way
Well, and
that
Bruce,
an
you
issue can get fixed.
The burden of proof is always on the one calling it in.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying. Have a way to document your issue and just call it in, and if it's an issue, it can get resolved.
okay, so
I'll make a motion on this if you.
can I finish the discussion first?
No, yes, go ahead.
Okay.
you get bad as a mayor, you know that? Go ahead.
Great minds think alike.
I guess so.
The thing the catalyst that brought this to the attention of this one business owner was these two signs, these outdated signs that we still do have on North Adair Street. So, do we want to leave those signs up or take them down?
Let's remove them. We don't need them.
Are they city signs or are they Fred Sorrell signs?
Those signs had been there for decades before Fred Sordahl was even in that building. They are physically located on the poles of the awning that goes over that street, or goes over that sidewalk, but that awning is on our property. But I can also tell you this, that same office building was the former insurance office of former Mayor Chief Jordan. And I would guarantee probably anything that he made sure that those signs were put up there when he was mayor.
I'm sure.
Well, what about the signs around town? I think I've seen them. It says business parking only. Do we
Some
have
of those
those?
are private property owned,
Yeah.
so everything that's private property.
What I
they-
see is signs in front of the store that says business parking only, and there's in front of their stores, what they're trying
Yeah,
to
and they would put them signs up there, so we wouldn't, I mean, the city doesn't purchase and put them up. But there's a few people down there that, I mean, they actually, I guess they own the parking. I know for public parking, we understand with the engineer, from Graham Avenue, from going north and south all the way to First Street each way, on those streets, 90% of them are public parking, but there is a few businesses that own some of the parking down through there, so they can put up, you know, whatever they want as long as they own it, so.
Will there be an objection from the business owners to take those two down?
I don't know.
I'll contact the business owner,
If it is, let's take it down and be through with it.
and if he wants it.
That's your award, so be careful what you answer.
Yeah.
You guys okay with that? If he wants them, he can have them, but I'll let him know that we need to probably pull them down.
So, for, as far as this item on the agenda for the, item in question about the 2 hours, what are you all, and the signs, what were you thinking? You were getting ready to do
I
something?
was just gonna do a motion of no action. I mean, there's really.
I agree.
He'll check on the sign, so, or with the business owner, so I'll just make a motion of no action.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion for no action on this item from Shears, seconded by him. Call for the vote.
Smith,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Lamar.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to the next agenda item is discussion regarding the, updated discussion regarding the South Elliott Street Drainage Project. At the council meeting, it was supposed to have started this week, the end of this week. As far as we know, it hadn't started yet, right?
I haven't seen anybody down there. I have a piece of paper I got from Love today. I'm trying to get with, what was his name in the little,
JNS,
yeah, Italian guy? We talking- Jim?
yeah, something like that.
Okay. The mud went through there, of course, all the pipe that they put up, I've got a thing to give to him that they can measure down without having to, they can do it, but it's actually, it shows how deep it is and where everything's at. But, I'm supposed to get with him as soon as he gets into town where he can start, putting his pipe. And I'm gonna have him go on 17th and Elliott there at that parking area where usually every contractor comes in, they store some of their items over there and put up silk fence and stuff just to keep, you know,
Okay.
keep people out of it. But other than that, I haven't heard anything yet. So.
It appears from all the drawings, it's ready.
Yeah, so all of those pipes that you see down there, those are locators. They're not new construction. He is gonna start, he's gonna try his best to work off-school transit hours and weekends. So during the middle of the day, stop during release time, we're gonna try, but he's, did he not say he was gonna try to work on the weekends? To avoid that. He'll stage his stuff. 10 days from last Monday is the start. I've talked to Dr. Mueller, I've talked to the local principals, and I talked to the assistant superintendent. They're aware. What we're really waiting on is the traffic control plan. As soon as Dale gets that, they weren't too sure that there was gonna need to be one. They're gonna use mini excavators and kind of just work there on the shoulder. I don't anticipate a lot of traffic buildup, so the guy was pretty confident they would get in and get out pretty quick.
Okay.
There is a period between about 3 and 5 that there's a problem. No
Yeah.
matter what we do or don't do, there's always a problem between 3 and 5, so we just have.
Well, I think you've got the release of the industrial park, you've got
Yep.
the school, you've got, so yeah, but they're cognizant of that.
Okay, thank you for that update, buddy and Mr. Mayor. Okay, item number 7 is discussion regarding the drainage easement of the Taylor property located at 17th and east of Oklahoma Street. The update on that is that information on obtaining and the proper documentation for all those easements is in the hands of the city attorney, and he's working on it. And There was emails back and forth and text messages today and yesterday, and as of today, there's no update on that. So, but it's in the hands of the city attorney. Okay, number 8, discussion regarding the street drainage sidewalk improvement projects for 2025-26. I think all the council members, or most all of them, submitted their little wish list to the mayor. There is a map that the mayor has been using color coding with different highlighters in there on the map in the conference room of those different projects. And it's still basically in the discussion stage with what to do and which ones to evaluate. So there's not really any update on that, so to speak, right now. Oh, okay, sorry.
You can jump in anytime. I mean, you know, you're cooler than I am. So we talked to Dale, Buddy, you were in on that when we looked at that map. Here's what we've got laid out for the 25-26 year. Clayton Road, Buddy and his crew are gonna try to do all the base work, and then once they're done with that, my guess is, what do you think, maybe springtime?
Yeah, unless we have decent weather in the.
Yeah, I mean,
They're making, when the county gets ready.
then we'll reach back out to the county and have them overlay. We've already discussed that with them. They just gotta get to where they're free. So, and that'll be work, Buddy, and we can work that out as his crew goes, weather related. We talked about Dog Pound Road. That's gonna have to probably be bow-magged and redone. If you're not aware of what that means, and that's a term you don't know, basically, we chop it up and start all over again. So we'll rough it up, redo it. That's gotta be done. With that, there's gonna be a little bit of timing. I talked to Danny Callison today. Bruce, you're probably aware. Some updates on the range. As that range is finishing, we don't wanna have two projects colliding with each other. So we'll kind of keep our eye on that. They're gonna come in and do asphalt and stuff on the ground. And I'll get with you. I talked to Danny about an hour ago, so I got some.
Yeah, I talked to him, yesterday. They said as soon as they get their chipping done right now, then they'll arrange the next project for the
Well,
parking lot.
he's got some additional funds that
Yeah,
he's gonna have Jeremy go for. So I've already called Jeremy, that's already in the rolls there. But, we talked about 14th Street, there in front of the Rabbit Home, or the former Rabbit House, by the apartments.
yeah, that's terrible.
It's awful, that is a residential priority. We talked about, Jackson is bad. That's over by Goldie's in that area. That's pretty bad there, Goldie's and McDonald's, that little corner of the world. And then we talked about Cemetery Hill. That's gonna have to be reinforced. The gravel is continuing to come down. Mr. Lamar and I were talking about that yesterday, talked about that grave that was supposedly up at the top. I went up and looked. It looks like, at one point, you know, there was a service road that went to that water tower. There's a wad of concrete asphalt mix up there. I don't think that's a grave. I think it's just part of that service road that went around the water tower. So I'm gonna say that the graves are good for where we're at, and that one, I don't remember the name on it, Sam's or something, that one that I sent you the picture of. It's far, I mean, we're talking from me to you guys away from the edge, so we should be good. But what we're gonna do is try to kind of cut that back and reinforce it with those blocks, build in behind and see what we need to do. If we need to go up a layer, we will. When we talked to ODOT and Dale talked to ODOT, we gotta go 10 feet. So 10 feet from the shoulder that's a long way on that hill, it is. Now, the south side of the road, I don't think we need to do anything, but that hill, if you look,
Yeah.
it's now, gravel is back to the road again, so that means it's actively coming down.
I just wonder if it's possible to, and you may have already thought about it, putting up the cable system like they have netting against it still.
Yeah, we talked about that. It's doable. It's gonna be the same purpose right now as those blocks.
Okay.
The blocks we get enough of those blocks, they're what, 2,000, 2,200 a piece? For $50 a pop. So we'll start with that. And I'm confident, you know, 12 of those across there stacked too high, we're solid. What else did we talk about? Drainage. If you look at that map, you'll know that the biggest drainage issue we have is Locke, Irving, Ross, in that center there behind Locke. A lot of yard floodage back there. And then southwest Graham Court. We got those first 4 homes on the east side that are
You
constantly.
mean southeast Graham Court over
What
by
did I say,
Creekside Church.
southwest?
It says southwest on the west side.
Southeast, yeah, I'm sorry, southeast Graham Court. Those first 4 homes get a lot of water, and so Dale and I and Buddy have talked about drainage that would, in essence, pull water off of that down through, some way through Bailey down to connect to the, what is that branch of drainage? Comes off the cemetery and down through there, whatever it is. Whatever it is, that it'll come down and connect there at the drainage there by Elliott and Second. And then there at Elliott and Second at that drainage, we've discussed, we're trying to figure out the best way to fill in that sinkhole that took place. Everybody's got great ideas, but all of those ideas have to be implemented and done. So Dale's gonna come up with an idea to do that. He thinks maybe we just reform and fill, and that might be, we've had somebody suggest, run a 4-foot pipe in there, pack around that pipe, do it. That's what we pay Dale to do. So we'll have him figure that drainage out.
And that's on South Elliott at what?
Second,
201?
201 South Elliott.
Okay.
And just for the record, those that aren't aware, the real problem there isn't the drainage canal. That would be easy. Typically, we'd be able to go in and just lift that block of concrete off and fix it. But there's a daggum house sitting on top of it, about that far on top of that. So Chase has been involved, Dale's been involved. Ideally, we would go in and we would condemn that house, demolish the house, fix the drainage and all as well, but it's always easier than said. The said and done are 2 different things, so.
It would be the house directly on the north side of it.
Yep. The south side of that house is about 1 foot, sits on top of that drainage canal. And anyways, I think that's all of the updates, right?
Well, the only other drainage was down there off of Ridgeview, or
Ridgewood and
Ridgewood, yeah, there were Carrie,
Yeah.
got drainage behind there, but
And
I
some
don't
of
know
them,
if we have any easements for that besides.
so we're gonna try to get the easements there. I've talked to Carrie, I've talked to her neighbors. Frank's gotta get down in there and pull some of that chat that is washed down in there out. The other thing is Mub's got perpendicular utility lines running through there, 3 and 6 inch lines that run right across that. So Carrie's got about that much of her yard left on that side. It's eroded away, so there's not a lot of room to work. So, but we want to make sure we get that as soon as Frank gets his part of the park done there. We can get in and dig that out. Should be able to fix that again with some blocks.
So Ridgewood Street is the furthest street to the south of that addition, but Carrie lives on
Brookfield
Brookfield
Terrace.
Terrace, so
Yep.
it's.
So Carrie lives right on the
You
turn.
had mentioned Ridgewood, but you meant,
If you remember where Don Stover
Yes.
used to live, she's the house, the split level house directly to the south, or man, I'm getting them all mixed up, to the west of where Don Stover used to live.
so it's actually, her street area, not Ridgewood Drive
Yeah.
area, okay.
Yeah, it's in the Brynwood edition.
The Brynwood edition, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
There's a pipe across the road that needs to be replaced also, so I mean, that's just part of it. Well, if we was gonna do that, we was just gonna do the whole thing at one time.
Okay.
And I don't know yet, but when I talked to Danny had gotten a call today about a drainage pipe that's washed up. So he was gonna go back and confirm the address, cause he wasn't even sure it was in the city, but it might be, is what he said. So as soon as I hear back from Danny, I'll let you guys know, but drain pipes that wash up are not always a big deal. We can get those put back. Any questions?
Yes, did you have anything to add?
No.
Okay. So then, for the purposes, or the record here, these are the major drainage projects and the major street and drainage projects we're working on.
Correct.
Clayton, the county and the street department's gonna work together on that. Dog Pound Road has got to be completely rebuilt from scratch, basically.
Pretty well.
14th Street west of Elliott,
Correct.
the 1 block of Jackson Street, and of course the Cemetery Hillside. And then the other major drainage projects is the Brynwood Addition area, southeast Graham Court there just west of Creekside Church, the Shoto Courts Addition, Irving Payne, all in through there, Bryan Street, all in there. And then that sinkhole at 201 South Elliott.
Correct.
Okay, And then the smaller projects
Are all over town.
are all over town. That's still on, but that's yet to be determined on.
Yeah, that's gonna be the things that Buddy will just make his call on a, you know, hey, today's a good day to go fix this one, that one. You know, if you get up here, third place by the hospital, whatever, there's a whole bunch of broken curb. That's Buddy's call.
We're not gonna have a contractor come in and do,
As far as going around doing curb work, if it's within the general area, we have them come in before and actually do curb work when, if they're working on a curb and gutter street.
Yeah.
A lot of times we'll go ahead and have them, as they're doing it, go ahead and come in and fix it, while they're there. A lot of times what we do, like here a while back where we're off of 15th Street, all the computer guy from the police department went over and fixed his curb. I mean, once we get report stuff, we've got some that's written down, we just haven't had a chance to get around to fixing, some of the curb that we have. But there is one thing, you said, had anything, yeah, there is a sidewalk project that I want to do this year, and that's that sidewalk on the north side of the road in between Orphan and Orr. It's really bad, but if I can get that fixed, yeah, cause it's sitting like this, that way there, that sidewalk, cause the thing is, I'm not sure, I talked to Dale about how to do it, you know, either put poly pipe in it or something and run and cover it up and do the sidewalks, or if we had to pour a head wall, you know, whatever's gonna be more cost effective to, or efficient, I guess you'd say, what we're gonna do, but I do have a money back put for a sidewalk project this year. That sidewalk there then would connect that all the way from, Bailey Street all the way down, to Elliott Street.
so that's between Orphan and Aura.
Do what?
Orphan and Aura?
Yeah, between Orphan
Okay.
and Orr.
That's a major sidewalk project?
Yes.
Okay.
It's,
So-
it's block long.
And then add on there pending easements, we're gonna say that Oklahoma drainage behind Bowling's house. Pending easements, whatever happens with those easements.
Okay. Now, what about all the other little things that we talked about the streets that are just falling apart, like South Van, where it intersects with Third Street there? I thought we were gonna identify all this, and because of Buddy's crews being too small and limited, that we were gonna identify all these and have a contractor come in and fix them too.
I think we let Buddy figure out what he can do.
You said on Third and.
Well, there's a lot of them, but.
Yeah, I mean,
Or-
there's some that we can, but there's, like I said, there's a lot of times we don't have, like a milling machine, you know, to come in, to be able to mill that down, all we have is one mills, you know, it's 2 foot wide.
Right, that's why I thought you were
Yeah, so,
gonna have a contractor.
well, we've
Identify
gotta
all those.
identify first before we
Right.
go, because contractors are bids,
I know,
so, I don't even wanna go.
I know,
down that
I know,
road.
but,
But he needs to be able to identify what he can do. He's seen that, he's got his list, we've got our major ones identified, we've got all of those are marked. So, at this point, it's gonna be allowing Buddy and his crews to identify what their abilities and their schedule and their time will do. And there's absolutely no need for me or anybody else to micromanage those projects. If Buddy says, hey, this one's bigger than we can bite off, then we'll bring it in to have a crew come in and do it.
I assume Northeast Fifth, west of Elliott, is on the project somewhere, where that
That-
road just,
that never was mentioned in their major projects, I guess not,
Well, eventually what.
falling apart.
If we wanna do, I mean, again, if you start that one, you're actually gonna have to, I mean, in my opinion, that you need to start off there up Highway 69 and to do the first half, if you're gonna do it there down to Elliott Street, and then if you want to, then you could, then the next year, you could go off of, then on the east side of Elliott Street where the concrete is, and then go to Oklahoma Street, and then after that there, then you could take it all the way to Gaither.
but that'd be a pretty major project doing that.
Yeah, because that's probably gonna take, probably most of the money, that we put back.
Well, I just noticed when you turn off of Elliott on the Fifth going west, that road just buckled. I mean, it's just about to
Yeah.
fall off on the north side.
Yeah, a lot of when they start bringing the sanitation out through there, that shows you the road that there's not a lot of base up underneath it when it was built. They're just probably grading some gravel thrown down and then a couple layers of asphalt overlays on them. And now you can see that
Yeah.
no wider than they are, that they're starting to.
Well,
slow down.
Yeah,
Please I'm sorry, Terry, please keep in mind that at any point, if we deem that this is more important than Clayton Road, then we back burner one of these projects and we step up. I think we've got some life still on Fifth, but also with that, all of those homes down there have to be notified. I mean, you've got a lot of.
Oh, it's gonna be a pain down through there.
It's gonna be a major undertaking. That's one that's gonna probably take 6 months in advance if more, just prepping. So,
Keep in mind that Fifth Street, which it's
yeah,
it's gonna keep deteriorating, is the major thoroughfare to egress and ingress out of, to an elementary school and also to the events at the soccer fields and stuff to the east of there.
right. But we only got so much money. So that's why I say we gotta identify what priorities are. And go
Well,
from there.
this is kind of a different avenue, but I'm not as familiar with the costs, comparison between the two. You said the milling machine we have only does about 2 foot wide?
Yeah, it's just on front of the skid steer, it's called
Oh.
a planer,
Okay.
but I mean, you can use it for milling or whatever.
In order for a crew that would be our normal size to do a large area, and I say a large area, that's a subjective term, but I'm not talking like the entire Northeast Fifth, but to do, like, let's say Southeast 14th off of Elliott, there's a big portion right there by that apartment complex that's just like all rumbled up. What size of a milling machine would you need in order to do something like that?
Well, I mean, the small ones are probably 6-8 feet wide, I mean, just what the contractors use.
Yeah, and then how much would it cost for us to own one of those? Well, I mean, basically what I'm asking is, would it be worth it?
Yeah, 500,000 or more, I mean, yeah, they're.
Okay. I was just wondering if that would even be worth entertaining at this
Well, the
point.
thing is, I mean, and it also, I mean, getting a chance to use it on a lot of things. They do make a machine, what they call a zipper. I mean, they loaned it to us for a week when we actually done a base, kind of a base repair on Clayton Road, but it fits on front of your loader. And it has teeth that kind of like a bow mag works, but it goes down so far.
Mhm.
But those are $200,000 also.
Well, besides not having the equipment, you don't have the manpower to do all this stuff anyway. So that's probably why we
2023
concentrate.
Used, Road Tech planer,
Mhm.
they're called,
Yeah,
used 753,000.
okay, so, never
Well-
mind.
Contracted.
Okay, anything else on that, buddy?
No, that's.
Mr. Mayor?
No.
Gentlemen, anything else? Okay, thank you for the update on that. Okay, item number 9, unforeseeable business, none.
None.
And number 10, adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Shears,
Second.
second by Mr. Smith. Call for the vote?
Rushiers,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.